Welcome back to episode 181, and I'm your great desert prospector, Andy.
And like your opponent's Mystic Remora, I have cumulative costs that are snowballing. Mike Coyle.
Please listen carefully.
And this is the podcast about Commander.
Our favorite Magic the Gathering format. And this week, we are here to talk about some Jumpstart 2022. So we got a lot of brand new cards here. This isn't like the Jumpstarts that have been releasing with our standard sets of late. But this is a brand new Jumpstart 2022 set with a lot of really good cards for our format in Commander.
Yes, and we also have a secret layer drop, the December 2022. It's like a bundle. Why am I talking so much like this?
Upward Inflections is the theme.
It's the theme this week. Yeah, so this secret layer, I actually did another snap purchase.
Oh, nice.
I haven't done it to all of them. This one seemed pretty cool. So we're going to go through them real quick. The meaning of life, maybe, includes a borderless Force Fruition, Future Sight, Mental Misstep, Mind's Dilation, and Well of Lost Dreams, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Mental Misstep I play, Mind's Dilation I get destroyed by quite often, and I don't use a Well of Lost Dreams as often as I honestly think I probably should.
Yeah, I run that in a few different decks, and I've found that it works out pretty well.
I appreciate when people play Force Fruition against me, though, because it's always when I have like one silly cantrip and no other gas. I'm like, you know what? You can force me to draw 24 or 20, 21, 28, whatever you want. It's in multiples of 7. I will draw them.
Yeah, please
Thank you. Please and thank you.
I appreciate that. We also have the Art of Frank Frazetta secret layer with borderless Field Marshal, Temporal Manipulation, Dark Ritual, Midnight Reaper, and Seize the Day.
4 of which I play. I don't play Field Marshal, but I play Temporal Manipulation in my turns deck. Dark Ritual is just great.
Yeah, we actually got a lot of soldier tribal cards in Dominaria United, so maybe people will like this Field Marshal.
Midnight Reaper is great, and I would like to, in fact, seize the day.
Oh, yeah.
Next is Welcome to the Fungal, which includes a borderless Abundant Growth, Slimefoot the Stowaway, Gave Guru of Spores, Mycoloth, and Saproling token. So you can get this one if you play Gave or Slimefoot. I love both of these, and the artwork is so like 70s, like trippy mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
That's the theme here. Is it says mushrooms are more than just a pizza topping. It's very psychedelic. It's really cool.
It is. This is the first time I remember. I can't say it's the first time that they've done it because I don't know. I've seen a token as one of the cards here.
Like a specific token? I don't remember.
There might have been a zombie token back in the day, and I know the secret layer of Walking Dead came with some walker tokens.
It did.
But that's like the first secret layer ever, almost.
I would expect. Yeah, almost. And I would expect the Sapling token to be expensive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would like 20 of them.
Yeah, and that's why it's gonna be expensive. Next, we have special guest Kozendon the Lands. So this have full art plains, island, swamp, mountain, and forest, all picturing some really cool artwork.
Yeah, it says eye-popping, intensely detailed works of art.
I like the serpent on the island, personally.
Yeah, I like the colors of that swamp. It's very turquoise.
Turquoise.
Next up, same artist, special guest, Kozendon, Another Story. So this includes borderless Sarah Ascendant, Rapid Hybridization, Demonic Consultation, Winds of Change, and Llanowar Elves. This one I think might be my favorite of the ones that aren't the Just Add Milk, which we'll talk about in a minute, because that one's pretty cool.
Oh my god!
But this giving a foil Winds of Change, because I didn't have one. Rapid Hybridization is great. Honestly, every single one of these cards massively playable.
Yeah, I don't play Sarah's Ascendant. Not that I shouldn't.
It's in my human deck.
Yeah.
I love it. And if you need a new Demonic Consultation and you want one in foil, here you go.
Yeah, really, really, really good cards in that lot. Next, we have Artist Series Alexi Bricklot. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. With some borderless Inquisition of Kozilek, Thought Knot Seer, Reality Smasher, and Eldrazi Temple.
Okay, so if there's a 5th card added to this one, I mean, is it Eye of Ugin again? Is it? It's got to be something Eldrazi. One little sloopy boy.
A Kozilek would be nice. But these do also have a panorama as what their artworks make, which is very cool. So I hope if there is the bonus card in there, it continues the panorama.
Yes. Next is Just Add Milk, which you can look at this one online. There was like a small commercial that was made for this.
Yeah, with puppets and everything.
Oh my God, it was so cute. And I want those puppets.
I bet they're expensive.
Oh, I'm sure. This comes with a borderless reversible Itali Primal Storm, Gulta Primal Hunger, and Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. And so if you, and we'll have the link to this, but if you can picture a cereal box from your childhood where it has like really fun artwork, like Count Chocula on the front, and then the back has puzzles or something for you to do. There's crossword search games, there's
matching.
And I think the back is my favorite, where it has the creature's text and name in the nutrition box on all three of them. Okay, this was the reason that I really wanted this secret lair. I'll be honest. I play Itali and I play Ulamog. I don't play Gulta anywhere, but I'd play a Gulta for its stompylicious cereal text.
I don't disagree. I think we talked about it in our little sub chat. Itali, I think I play in one deck. I don't play any of the other ones, but dang it, I'm gonna get this secret lair. And there was one other card in the secret lair. I think we're gonna mention it all the way at the end, where if you simply buy 5 copies of the foil version of Just Add Milk, you'll be able to get that one as well. But next we have Wizards of the Street. This is including a borderless Baral Chief of Compliance, Spellseeker, Magus of the Wheel, and Kess Dissident Mage. So
all these are really good too.
Really good cards, and some really cool artwork on them too. Baral, I mean, I could do without, but the rest are great.
The Kess reminds me of like promotional artwork for like some sort of Halloween series, or it in Nightmare Before Christmas, Sally. It reminds me of Sally. The artwork reminds me of Sally, but
this is Sally before
Very
Sally was
Tim
a zombie.
Burton-esque.
This is a necromancer Sally. Maybe it's Sally after she's done being a zombie.
Yeah. Next is Time Trouble 2, which includes 3 retro planeswalkers. One is a Narset Parter Veils, Nissa Who Shakes the World, and Tezra Agent of Bolas, with all of their activated abilities written out in like full big chunky text boxes, like the old way cards used to be written. 3 useful planeswalkers.
Yeah, very cool stuff there. Please don't wheel when you have your Narset Parter Veils. I don't care what border you have.
I've done it once, and for that, I'm sorry.
I've done it more than once, but it was competitive. It's fine. So next we have a series of Transformers secret lairs that are also part of this December secret drop. First up, we have Transformers Roll Out or Rise Up, which includes a copy of Greater Good, Dramatic Reversal, True Conviction, By Force, Fabricate, and Collective Brutality, all in some really cool Transformers artwork.
Yes, and then there's Optimus Prime versus Megatron, which includes 3 cards, and they're all reversible. One is a Blightsteel Colossus as Megatron, a Darksteel Colossus as Optimus Prime, and a Doubling Cube as the Allspark. And they are also panorama, and the panorama is actually on both sides of the card, so you can line them up there.
Doubling Cube is cool. I don't play that in many decks, but it's a cool card.
Yeah, I think I ran it. Oh my, it was so long. I wonder if I had Doubling Cube in like my Voral deck. I had it in something that really wanted to make a lot of mana. It never really did the thing though.
Yeah, I should put it in my green-white Auras deck, and I never have because it's not an enchantment, and that deck is enchantment purity, but I don't know. I should put it in. We need to play more Doubling Cube. Okay, last on the secret lair here, we have Transformers One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall, which features full arts of plain, island, swamp, mountain, and forest. But again, some Transformers cards. Maybe some of them are on Cybertron. So if you like
I continue to say this. I really wish that these land secret lair had like 5 of each or something. It just feels it's hard unless you're playing a deck that really is playing very few basics, but as a 2-color player, I have a lot more basics, I would say, than most. So I would have to buy so many of those.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But if you're looking for that, you can find that in the show notes below. We are also talking with Chris. So Kelsum in our Discord, who is a judge. They're going to be organizing some leagues for us starting in 2023. So we don't have all the details just yet, but just know that if you are a patron, we are going to be starting up patron leagues. It's going to be a different theme every month. So we're very excited. And if you would like to join that, you can become a patron, which you can head over to Guardian Project Pod and donate for any dollar amount to join that league.
Yes. And if you're looking for another way or an additional way to support the podcast, whatever way you are enjoying the podcast now on whatever platform you're enjoying it, if you could subscribe, give us a rating, give us a review, leave some comments, we'd be really appreciative. But you can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You can just Google Guardian Project Podcast. You can find our website, and you can email us at guardianprojectpod@gmail.com.
Yes. Thank you all for your support, and for everybody who listens to us every single week. We wouldn't be here without you.
We would not.
Now let's go talk about some Jumpstart. All right, this is our second installment of Jumpstart. The first came out in 2020, which honestly, when I read that and we were putting these show notes together, I was like, it has been more than 2 years.
Yeah, it sure has.
Since Jumpstart came out. And the whole small talk of when you jump on like a business call, when it's like, oh, where did the time go? I can't believe it's December,
sure.
which is super irritating.
Yeah.
And you're like, nobody actually cares.
But
you
think
I
that,
can't
though.
believe the time actually went that fast. And this is me being truthful. It's me opening up to all of you on the show.
Now, here's the thing, though, Andy. Technically, we've gotten at least 2 different Jumpstarts. Between them, they've just been 5 brand new cards in that set.
They've just been smaller.
Super
smaller Jumpstarts. So 2 years ago, we got the first Jumpstart. This new one coming out is giving us 51 new cards, 768 reprints, which is accommodating 46 themes with 121 different pack combinations. With themes like Constellation, Unlucky 13, or Gross, which if you're wondering what gross means, the description was focusing on insects and body horror, which was like weird, gross, like plague horror creatures and like weird Phyrexian stuff. So we've got 14 new commanders that are coming in this set. So there's 14 new legendary creatures, and honestly, they all look pretty sick to play.
Yeah. Pretty similar, at least in the color scheme that we had in the original Commander Legends Jumpstart, where they're monocolor legendary creatures, and some of them have a hybrid activation cost within their text, allowing you to play them in a 2-color deck. And although the monocolor ones are very excited, I think both of us are particularly excited for the 2-color ones that are coming out of here.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over a few of our favorite cards, some of the really great reprints, and we're gonna talk about a couple of combos that we found. So the first card I want to talk about is Pirated Copy. So it is a creature, shapeshifter pirate, a 0/0 for 4 and a blue. It says you may have Pirated Copy enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's a pirate in addition to its other types. And it has, whenever this creature or another creature with the same name deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Yeah. I think this card is great because it can enter as, I mean, anything that has great ETB effects. I also really like getting pirates for pirate decks. But you pointed out that this would have been fantastic in another deck that I played, and I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it, which is Gore Muldrak. I can't even believe how good this is. So Gore Muldrak, if you've watched our streams, I would say right after Commander Legends came out. It was a long time. The deck's no longer together, but I would put it back together for this. Gore Muldrak is a 3/2 human scout for Simic colors, and it has, at the beginning of your end step, each player who controls the fewest creatures makes a 4/3 blue Salamander warrior. So you're giving one in the beginning. It's usually like 2 people get it, and then all 4 usually ultimately will end up getting at least 1 or 2, right? So if you have Pirated Copy come in as a copy of that Salamander, and then you goad other creatures your opponents control, you're going to draw so many cards.
Yeah, you are.
That's so smart.
Yeah, so taking advantage of other people's creatures, or if you have a way of giving creatures away, maybe you can tap your Forbidden Orchard a bunch of times and give away your ground spirits, and then have it come in as a clone in the ground spirits that are getting in. honestly, I think this might not be a bad play in your Locust God deck because you can have it enter as a Locust and have another reconnaissance mission there or something.
It's disgusting. I will have this come in as one insect, and we will all swing now.
I'm going to be putting this in my Ikra Shidiki Sakashima of 1,000 Faces clones deck because if all of my Ikras attacking gain me 49 life and draw me 7 cards, I don't know if I can lose.
I don't know how you could either.
So I think this one is going to be, I mean, if you have a clone deck, it's going to cost 1 more mana. So it's 5 mana instead of 4. Oops. If it's a Gyruda clone deck, sorry, it's not even mana cost. Other than that, you're good. Put it in your clone deck. If you have a pirate deck, put it in your pirate deck.
Yeah,
too.
I have a pirate deck. I have the Locust God, Gormal. This goes. The list could, I'm sure if we looked a little deeper at so many more commanders, this would work really well.
This is probably one of the best clones out there.
I really like it.
Yep.
I really like it.
Well, let me tell you about a commander that I want to build from this set.
Okay.
This is Zask, Skittering Swarmlord. This is a 5 mana, 3 green, 5/5 legendary creature insect that says you may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard.
Sold.
There's 2 more giant text box on this thing. That's the thing. Okay, whenever another insect you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. Okay,
because you're filling the graveyard. You already have like a Crucible of Worlds does this, right? We have other creatures that do this. We love it, and you're also milling, which we kind of just want to do.
Yeah, it's a little kind of awkward, I guess. It feels like that the black mythic artifact from Throne of Eldraine that cared about reanimation, but whenever you had something die, it went to the bottom of your library instead.
The Cauldron of something.
Yeah, Cauldron of Eternity. Yeah. So it feels a little bit like that, but there's some ways around it that I'll explain in a second. So it also has this last ability, which is an activated ability for 1 and hybrid Golgari, giving it Golgari colors, which is huge. You have target insect gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch till end of turn. And hybrid Golgari, I'm sorry, is either black or green, in case you don't know the Golgari. So yeah, Zask.
So you're saying I'm in green and black, and I want to care about things dying and things in the graveyard. Wow.
Yeah, right.
That seems really great.
Yeah, and there's some combos and stuff that definitely go with it. I know when I was looking at this one, I love the enchantment Mortuary, and I've been trying to put it into more decks. This says whenever it's an enchantment for 4 mana, 3 and a black. It says whenever any creature is put into your graveyard from play, put that creature on top of your library. In combination with Zask, I did get a judge ruling on this. The insect doesn't have to be in your graveyard for the final ability to resolve and have you mill 2 cards. So if you do have Mortuary out and you kill one of your insects, you get to put it on top of your library and then mill it into your graveyard where you then can cast it with Zask. So I think this is an amazing Mortuary deck, and that's actually why I was like, I gotta play this. But also, Grist the Hunger Tide is a planeswalker that is in fact an insect creature while it is in your graveyard, and you'll be able to recast Grist the Hunger Tide from your graveyard as many times as you want with Zask. 5 mana, I don't think is unreasonable. It's in green. I'm going to be able to ramp there. The only question I had is lands, graveyards, and insects. Is that too many themes? But also there's Scoot Swarm, which is an insect that cares about lands.
And also I think the answer is no.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of those things work really well in the green-black color identity.
Good. So I can take my Gitrog deck apart, my Hogak deck apart, put them all together, and I got a Zask.
Yeah, when you take the good, you take the bad,
you make,
and then you have the facts of life,
which
is
the
Zask
of life.
The Zask. Are you going to build this?
I think I am. I don't currently have a Golgari deck. I know I said I was going to take apart my Hogak deck. Those aren't together anymore. So it's a color combination I don't have. It's something that speaks to me. I actually don't even have like a dedicated graveyard deck at this point in time either. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play some of the degenerate combos in here. I'm going to put all my altars in here. I'm going to put Universal Automaton, a 1 generic mana insect. As far as I'm concerned, it's a changeling.
Checks out.
It checks out, and I'm going to cast it 1 billion times for my graveyard.
Nice. Do you have any of the Jumpstart commanders built? I think the only Jumpstart commander that I built was the Sethron, because that came out and that was wildly popular. But I don't think I have any other Jumpstart commanders.
I did have Zerzoff Chaos Rider.
Oh, you
built
did?
For a long
Yeah,
time.
that was a very fun deck.
Mm-hmm.
The next deck that I'm really interested in building is based on a new legendary creature, Isu, the Abominable. So for 3 blue, you get a 5/5 legendary snow creature Yeti that says you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play snow lands and cast snow spells from the top of your library. And whenever a snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay green, white, or blue. If you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on Isu, the Abominable. So you are playing Bant, Snow Landfall.
Yeah,
I love it. And if you think this text box seems very similar to one that you had recently seen, Emperor Mihail II is like eerily similar, but for merfolk, because that one says you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast merfolk spells from the top of your library, and whenever you cast a merfolk, you may pay 1, so you can create another merfolk. So this is like, I built Emperor Mihail. I've been having a lot of fun with that merfolk deck. I also just like Landfall because everybody does it. There's land in every deck.
Yeah, it's true.
The game just plays land, so it's gonna.
Can't think of any examples otherwise, at least.
Yeah, no, and I think we've wanted more snow, right? And we have not gotten. We've gotten more, but we haven't gotten a ton of snow.
It's nice to have it in different color combinations, because we had it in Sultai from
correct.
Call Time.
Call Time gave us a Sultai 3-color commander that did care about snow. It wanted you to attack, I guess, also, because that was Jorn, God of Winter, which says whenever it attacks, untap each snow permanent you control, which was great. And on the backside was a snow artifact, the Cauldron, the Rhyme Staff, that said you can tap it and play target snow permanent from your graveyard. So if you do, it enters tapped. We've got it there. I think people have wanted a Bant one for a very long time, because there's other Bant cards that care about snow permanents. I think we're going to see a lot of Isu. I don't know. I think this is the one that we're going to see a lot of.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's also a lot of potential. There were some people talking over the weekend about having this be a really good budget commander too, because you can do mono blue Landfall with this guy. You don't technically need to build green and white. You want to put at least green in here, but this could be a really good Simic Landfall deck for that matter. And just splash some white for all your removal.
Removal. Yeah, Isu's a lot of fun.
All right, so next up we have another legendary creature, one that is actually going in the 99 for me. It's not going to be a commander, and that's Ardaz, Cobbler of War. For 1 and a red, you get a 1/1 legendary creature Goblin Shaman with haste. It says whenever Ardaz, Cobbler of War, or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And for 3 and a red, you can create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token with haste, but activate this only as a sorcery. I'm personally not that interested in the activated ability. We'll talk about it later, though. I'm most interested in the ETB ability here and the fact that this creature is a shaman. So this will be going in my Delina Wild Mage deck, which creates token copies of creatures when Delina swings. So hopefully being able to create 10 token copies of Ardaz, will be able to have a giant board. And if I do have my staple card from that deck, Harmonic Prodigy, the card that the deck is built around, which doubles the triggered abilities of wizards and shamans in my deck, then all of my creatures all my Ardazes that enter will actually get +4/+0. They all see each other and they're going to pump each other up. And at the same time, if I don't want to make copies of Ardaz, all the copies of whatever other creature I'm making is going to get the +2/+0 or +4/+0, depending on if I have the Harmonic Prodigy. For 2 mana, I don't see this as a downside. This is a really good spot.
Yeah, I think this is a great. It's a great card in Goblin decks. It's also Shaman, which maybe later we will have some value there. But I gotta ask, do you think it was a missed opportunity that Ardaz also wasn't holding a Cobbler, because the shoes are on fire?
Sure.
And I mean, you're gonna need a Cobbler to repair that shoe, because they're like literally burning off the feet at this point.
What if that's part of the shoe? Like Nike has wings, Ardaz has fire.
Oh,
fire shoes.
Fire
on Twitter.
But maybe it's that they sell shoes that are on fire and you come to them to repair them.
Oh, that's good.
Because cobblers just repair shoes.
That's good.
You sell them broken, and then they're gonna need you in the future.
They ignite the shoes as soon as you walk out the store.
No, this is a really good card. If you're playing a goblin deck that's making a lot of 1/1 goblins, I bet you this would be great.
Heck yeah.
All right, you want to talk about rats for a second?
Fine.
So I think this is going to be the most popular rats commander. I'm going to go out there on that limb because we have some popular rat commanders already.
That's true.
But Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm is a 3/4 rat warlock for 3 and a black that says whenever it attacks or blocks other rats you control, get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of rats you control.
Whoa.
And at the beginning of your end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to 2 rat creature tokens from your graveyard to the battlefield. This card is pretty ridiculous for what it does. And if you look at the other rat commanders that we've had in the past, we have Marrow-Gnar, we have there's the Ink Eye, Servant of Oni, Greasefang, which is more vehicle, and then Patron of the Nezumi. This one costs less than both Marrow-Gnar and Ink Eyes. It doesn't require you to not have summoning sickness, right? You get the value right away when you block. So I mean, it can do something right away. Marrow-Gnar gives things fear, but makes you sack the rats. And then Ink Eye's Servant of Oni requires you to attack, but then like you can ninjutsu it in, so you like need to actually deal damage. I feel like this rat just does so much more than you need.
I want to believe that the name Ashcoat is a tip to coat of arms, because it's like a rat coat of arms only for this. And this is so powerful.
I had pulled out a long time. It was this year, but it was like in May.
Okay.
I had pulled out all of my rat colony because somebody had said, hey, I'm looking for some rats. And then I left them at my house when we went to that event. And then I felt really, really bad. And I was like, I have all these rat colony I pulled out. And I think I looked and I had like 13 of them.
Okay.
And they have sat on this desk for, I'm pointing at a desk in case anybody's interested.
Yeah.
They have sat on this desk behind some boxes so nobody could see them since May. And then Ashcoat was previewed and I was like, guess I don't need to put them away now, because I think I might build this rat deck. I was going to build a rat deck a long time ago and then never built the rat deck.
So did you know that pile of rat colony was where it was, or did you hear a giant snap at one point and then you had to go find the rat that was hiding behind your stuff?
I would love to say that. Well, no, I would not love to say that there was a snap. No, there were no rats in my house, but I knew it was there. But I really think Ashcoat will be.
Oh yeah,
it's
very strong.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but I feel like it will be the top rat commander.
There's definitely going to be a lot of politics around it because it's an attack trigger. So the person who's playing Ashcoat is going to be like, I moved to combat. Is it who are you going to swing at? You got to tell us now, otherwise we're removing Ashcoat. And then that's when you just turn out your instant speed reanimation.
So you play Ashcoat and Coat of Arms. Oops.
That would be really. You should.
Yeah, it's
double
really
coat.
good.
Double coat. It's getting cold out there.
Double coat. We're gonna need to for the winter.
All right. I want to talk about an uncommon from Jumpstart 2022 that I think is going to not be on many people's radars, and it should be. And this is Distinguished Conjurer. For 1 and a white, you get a 1/2 human wizard that says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So it's kind of like a Soul Sister. It's that more like the more recent Soul Sister we got from the latest Innistrad set, because it only cares about creatures entering the battlefield under your control to gain 1 life, but it also has this extra ability. So for 4 and a white, you can tap it and exile another target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this is not a flicker effect where it's waiting until you end step, and it's actually a blink effect where it's happening right away. So it's like kind of a Soul Sister with added upside with a blink effect. If you care, it is a human, which I do actually, because I think this would go really, really good in my Ellen Harvey's Haunted One deck. Not only could I like reset my commander to try to crew another vehicle and activate my Haunted One to give Undying to all of my humans, but if a human that has a +1/+1 counter on it is about to die, I can blink it and then it'll
dodge
come back
removal
with the Undying. Yeah, huge. But I mean, you're also probably going to play it in your blink decks. It's only a 2 mana creature. Your blink decks care about gaining life and having creatures enter the battlefield anyway, so why not play it there? I have a blink and flicker deck that it's going to fit in perfectly. I play cards like Training Grounds and stuff that's going to make that 5 mana activation actually down to like 3 mana activation and make it very worthwhile. it's just an uncommon I don't want people to miss here because I think it is really good.
It's probably going to have a legit foil. The
You think
artwork's
so?
going to be probably really cool.
It looks like
There's
a very
like
nice
a unicorn climbing out. There's
Mhm.
a ship like on some stormy seas, and then also just like space.
card. Yeah, planets.
They are showing you all the cool places that are going to be. I hope this is a foil where like the 3 of those things are like really shiny compared to the rest of the foil.
Do these come in foil though? Jumpstart?
Oh crap! Do
Yeah,
they not?
I
Am
don't
I
think they
disappointed
do.
now?
I don't think Jumpstart comes in foil.
Ah, shoot.
At least the original did.
Okay,
Right?
so we get this, and in 2 years, reprint this into a set
Yeah.
that has.
Hey, there's some artists out there that do like foil peels and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get it in like a secret layer. That absolutely is
cool.
possible.
Yeah.
That's possible. The next card I want to talk about is Deadly Plot, an instant for 3 and a black. That's modal. It says choose one. You can either destroy target creature or planeswalker, or return target zombie card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. There's not really a whole lot to say here. That's just really great.
There is it's instant speed reanimation is really strong. And if you don't understand that, it could be anything. Think about a combat trick. I'm going to reanimate my zombie lord right away.
But this does come in tapped. So there is that.
Right, so it won't be a block or anything. But I mean ETBs. I mean have my Batu come in or something and sacrifice all my creatures for 4 mana. I mean, cheating out a Grave Titan that's 6 mana for only 4 and starting your combo off or something. This thing has huge zombie deck specific implications.
Yeah, I want to mill a bunch of things, and then I'm going to bring something back at the end step before it's my turn.
Yeah.
And then get the value. Or if I have something that comes in and makes people sack, I don't know. There's so many zombies.
Well, and on top of that, like you said, it's modal. Destroy target creature or planeswalker.
Yeah.
Why would you not want this?
So good.
It's so good.
That's it.
Okay. The next card I have is also another uncommon. Actually, the last card on the list here. Another uncommon, but I think this one is going to be played in so many decks. It's so strong. It's a 2 mana rock. For 2 generic mana, you can get Planar Atlas, an artifact that enters the battlefield tapped. But when Planar Atlas enters the battlefield, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 land card from among them, then put that card on top of your library and the rest on the bottom in a random order, and it can tap for a colorless mana. So whenever I'm like playing on our stream or something, I typically build my decks to have like 37 lands, and a really good starting hand for me would probably be like 3 lands and a rock. 2 lands and a rock's a little risky, right? You don't know if you're going to make it to your 4th mana or not. Well, if this is the rock that's sitting in your hand with 2 different lands, you're almost guaranteed to find your 3rd land. I do put guarantee in air quotes. You can't see that because this is a podcast, but you at the very least are going to dig 4 cards deeper. And if you don't find a land, you're now 4 cards closer to a land. There are other implications for this deck of just being able to filter the top of your deck 4 cards at a time. If you're playing Elsha of the Infinite or something and you're casting cards from the top of your library and you can blink that maybe with Brago that's in your deck or something, or any other blink spells in order to just reset the top of your deck. I think there's a lot of good things that can happen there, but also just being able to play
can play
lands.
Snowlands for the top of its deck. So
Exactly.
do you want to put 4, or I guess 3 of the cards to the bottom of Snowland on the top, and then you play it?
Absolutely.
Done.
And then if you somehow blink it again, I don't think there's any landfall blink. That'd probably be pretty broken. But if there was, landfall blink and then put another land on top, and if you can play a bunch of lands, yeah, it's going to be good even in what's the card that just straight up allows you to play from the top of your library? I don't remember. Future Sight. Just a straight up Future Sight card. Because you play cards from the top of your library. It doesn't matter if it's a
Bringing
land.
it full circle back to that secret layer drop. So
All the blue cards.
all the blue cards. Yeah, Planar Atlas is cool. I don't think I have anywhere to put it, but I will say inside of some of these little bubbles here, you're seeing a bunch of different planes. There's the Hedrons from Zendikar, but there's, I don't know if it's a forest or a city that you're seeing just below that, but there's like clearly somebody who's like a seer. And I want to know more about this character.
Who do you think this is?
Who's looking at all the planar bubbles.
Wow. This is his own meditation realm, this person that's sitting there with all of these other realms around them, just ready to break through all. Well, what if this is like Elish Norn's brain or something? What if this is like a depiction of inside someone's mind?
this person has traveled to all the planes. They're the, oh gosh, what's that thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That person who's like watching from the outside. The what? Yeah, this is the person watching. This is Magic's The Watcher.
Had you not said watching, I would not have guessed that correctly. Just so you know, I had no idea what that name was.
See, but you knew. Yeah. I needed you there to make sure that I didn't look silly. All right, let's talk about a couple of reprints.
Yes.
We've got new reprints coming out. There's also reprints with new art. We're going to get some anime style artwork. There's cards like Karn Liberated, Arlen Voice of the Pack, and Mirror Reidry that are getting some really neat art styles here.
I just want to shout out Corpse Connoisseur. Is it Corpse Connoisseur? The 1 mana? No, Stitcher Supplier. Anime Stitcher Supplier artwork. Oh my God.
There's a lot of really, I actually think the anime artwork is super cool. It was just like before with,
my gosh.
It was in the War of the Spark Japanese packs. You could get some of those, that was really cool. And now we're seeing some more of this, but some of the really nice reprints here, if you didn't catch it, we are getting our 7th printing in paper of Rhystic Study. The last one we got was a Secret Lair version that came out with the Arcane set. So Secret Lair Arcane. Every single version of this card is $35 or more. This isn't going to change anything. They're still going to be $35. Like $35 or more. But also this artwork now though is featuring Rutha and Zimone, and it's really cool. They're okay. The flavor text, and I had to read it, awesome. But it says, "I'll teach you the ley line trigonometrics, but you need to show me how to make that fiery swirly thing." Yes. Zimone to Rutha. It is so cool. Yeah, really great artwork. I think it's been a very popular artwork for Rhystic Study. People want to change out their artwork, so they can check this one out. Really great.
Because they're sick of playing with the League of Legends version, right? No.
Yeah,
it's the other artwork.
With the Arcane one.
We also have Blood Artist getting its 10th version in paper.
If you include the list really and like full art separate from regular printing and Double Masters 2022.
Yeah, I mean it's a $2 card, but Blood Artist is played everywhere, and I think it's only a $2 card because of all of its recent reprintings. It was going up there. I mean, when you compared Zulaport Cutthroat to Blood Artist back in the day, Zulaport was cheap and Blood Artist was expensive, and now they're about the same price.
I mean, just since 2021, it got a Secret Lair printing, Jumpstart, Crimson Vow Commander, 2 different versions in Double Masters, and then now Jumpstart 2022, and the card is still $2 with almost every single printing or more, because the new artworks are really great and people aren't using all the old ones.
It's true.
Yeah, it's really good. Also, a card that I think maybe has I think of very fondly. And I was talking to Judge Anthony, who, if you are on our Discord and you have asked questions before, you have probably talked to him a bit. But Michiko Kanda, Truth Seeker, is a card that I play in my Nyambi Esteemed Speaker deck. It's a legendary human advisor, a 2/2 for 4 mana, 3 and a white that says whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, that player sacks a permanent. It came out originally in Saviors of Kamigawa. It got a Secret Lair drop printing, which is great. And then it also it got added to the list maybe last year. So this is the 4th time we're getting it. Honestly, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th were all within the last 2 years. And this new printing is now under $2. The original was like over $20-$25 for a very long time. The Secret Lair is still $12. If you haven't played with Michiko, it's probably because it was expensive and you just didn't play it very much, or you haven't seen it played. And Judge Anthony was saying that he thought that honestly it was because of the fact that it was not widely available. Yeah. And it was just expensive. So it was cost prohibitive for people to just be like, I'm going to pick up this one card to try in this deck, because I don't just pick up a $25 card. So now if you want to just pick up a card because you want to try it out, it's $1.69 currently listed.
Better than any Ghostly Prison you'll ever play.
Exactly. And I mean, Mike has played against it many times, and it absolutely deters people from swinging at me. If you have one large creature, probably won't stop you. But if you're swinging at me with 4 or 5 smaller creatures, you're just not. You're going to either find Michiko will eat the removal, which is fine. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Right. Don't remove the thing that's a worse problem. Sure. Or you just don't swing at me.
Yeah. I mean, there's very rare cases where there's like an aristocrat deck that's like, I don't have a sack outlet, time to swing at Andy or something like that. Very, very rare. I like that this is like reverse Annihilator, which is like what Rotnalahama or something.
That's not a word that you made
That's
up.
Annihilator backwards. I tried. I don't know if it's right, but I tried. But it reverse.
Get us in the comments. Write out how you think Mike just spelled.
And then right next to it, put actually Annihilator backwards. We also got Tree of Perdition here, which was one of my favorite cards ever when I first started playing Commander. Came out in Eldritch Moon, which was still in Standard when I first started playing Commander. When Amonkhet came out, Tree of Perdition is a 4-mana plant that is a 0/13 that can tap and exchange life totals with its toughness with one of your opponents. And I loved making one of my opponent's life totals 13.
Can you believe this is its first reprint ever? Came out
honestly
in 2016.
Yeah.
It has been 6 years.
You say they reprinted the green tree more times than they've reprinted the black tree? The green tree that everyone hates?
Yeah, no one ever wants to open up the Tree of Redemption, but the Tree of Perdition you want to open. Yeah, this only has... It came out Eldritch Moon. It had the pre-release promo, and now Jumpstart 2022. And this is a great reprint. The original is around $11. The promos over $20, and then this one is now around $16 or $17.
Okay.
So
it should go down.
Absolutely, once we start to see some. But if there were people looking for a Tree of Perdition, you should actually be able to get your hands on the card.
You should play it because it's really fun to play.
Yes, you should. Now let's each talk about some combos. We talked about one of the cards already, which is Ardaz, Cobbler of War. But I will remind you what it does. It is a 1/1 haste Goblin Shaman for 1 in red that says whenever it or another creature enters under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and then you can pay 3 in a red. You create a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste at sorcery speed only. But what if we were to make like 1,000 goblins?
I'm in.
Are you in?
For 1,000 goblins?
1,000 goblins.
That up.
All right, well, let's add 2 cards, Mana Echoes and Chromatic Orrery. Okay. So Mana Echoes is an enchantment for 2 red. It says whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may add any amount, or you may add an amount of colorless equal to the number of creatures you control that share a creature type with it. So we care about goblins because our commander is a goblin. In Chromatic Orrery, and this is just one example, there are certainly other combinations that can get you to the same end result, but Chromatic Orrery is being used because we need to change that colorless mana into red mana. Chromatic Orrery is a 7-mana artifact, legendary artifact, that says you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. And it taps for 5 colorless mana, and then it also has an ability to pay 5 and tap and draw a card for each color among permanents you control, and nobody does that. I promise you. Even in 5-color decks. I mean, maybe if you're like really desperate.
Sure.
But because it can't even pay for itself because you need to be able to tap 5 other mana. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make infinite goblins.
Okay.
So you just need to have these 3 things on the battlefield with 3 other goblins, because Mana Echoes is going to add colorless to your mana pool equal to the number of creatures you control. So you need to be able to make at least 4 colorless mana.
Okay.
And then you have to be able to activate Ardaz. So assuming that you have Ardaz, Mana Echoes, Chromatic Orrery, and just 3 other goblins, and the Chromatic Orrery can tap now.
Okay. Yep.
You're going to tap for 5. You're going to activate Ardaz for 4, create a 1/1 goblin creature token with haste. That will get you your 5th goblin. You're going to add 5 colorless to your mana pool. Chromatic Orrery says you can spend that 5 colorless mana however you want. So you're going to spend it as 4 red mana on Ardaz. In this instance, you're netting mana too. So, I mean, that's really great.
Yeah. It's mana you can spend on anything.
You can spend it on all the other red cards you have in your hand because you're playing I would be personally playing mono red Ardaz, Cobbler of War.
Well, and you can at least draw 1 card from your Chromatic Orrery as well.
Exactly. So, it's
good.
Very achievable.
Yeah.
In a goblin deck, I bet you're going to have a bunch of goblins.
Yeah, there's I think a similar combo that you can do with Pashlik Mons, which was printed in the first Modern Horizons. But Pashlik Mons is a 4-mana card and Ardaz is only 2. It's got haste. It can do a lot more than Pashlik Mons could, arguably.
And these goblins are all coming in and getting +2/+0 right away. So they're 3/1s with haste.
So this does win on the spot as long as no one has any way to stop you from swinging like a Ghostly Prison,
like
or something
comeuppance
like
or deflecting palm or Fog.
You can still swing. Yeah.
Oh, we're still swinging. We're swinging at everybody though, so maybe one player can save
Sure.
themselves, but we're just gonna,
Yeah, and then obviously in your goblin deck, you're playing effects like Perforos or Goblin Bombardment or something. So there's tons of ways of winning even around combat damage too with this combo when you just add one more card.
Yeah.
I say that a lot about a lot of combos out there. Just add one more card.
Just add one more. I mean, honestly, you can achieve this with maybe Phyrexian Altar and other, maybe you have to have one or two more creatures to start out because you need to be able to make enough mana. But honestly, you have to sack down for the Phyrexian Altar. So, but once you get enough goblins, you start making enough mana that you'll be able to activate Ardaz maybe twice, and then because I guess if you do it that way, as long as you're netting additional goblins, you'll be good. But Chromatic Aura, you don't have that problem because you have enough mana.
Right.
But you can absolutely achieve this in other ways.
Oh, tons. So you had a mono red combo. I have a mono white combo.
All right.
This is actually a card that I did want to talk about, but we don't have time to talk about all the cards we love. So
originally Mike's list was like literally 14 cards, and I was like, Mike, you can pick 4 or 5.
Yep, and we did,
and that's how every episode goes.
Every episode, I like Magic the Gathering. So we've got Preston.
The title of the episode, I like Magic the Gathering.
We got Preston the Vanisher here, another legendary creature from Jumpstart for 3 and a white. You get a 2/5 rabbit wizard. It says whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it was not cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 0/1 white illusion. Also has an activated ability of pay 1 and a white to sacrifice 5 illusions and exile target non-land permanent. So it's not going to care if you cast the creatures, but if you reanimate the creature, if you blink a creature, if you cheat it out from your hand with a Quicksilver Amulet or something like that, if you cast it from... Nope, you can't cast it from exile because that would be casting it. But if it enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast, you're going to get a token copy. So it's going to go infinite with Felidar Guardian. Felidar Guardian for 3 and a white, you get a 1/4 cat beast that says when Felidar Guardian enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you will need a third card for this combo just to kickstart it. Any sort of reanimation, blink, or cheat out spell to cheat out your Felidar Guardian while you have Preston on the battlefield. If Felidar Guardian is on the battlefield, you can use a Flicker of Fate or something to just quickly blink the Felidar Guardian and start the combo that way. What's going to happen is Felidar Guardian is going to enter the battlefield. We don't care about the original Felidar Guardian ETB, but Preston is going to create a token copy of that Felidar Guardian, which is going to be able to target the original Felidar Guardian with its blink effect. Blinking it, Preston will trigger again, creating an additional 0/1, and we can repeat this to infinite. At the end, we can blink Preston if we need to, or blink one of the tokens so that the combo stops. But this is going to result with an infinite number of 0/1 illusion Felidar Guardian tokens. This doesn't necessarily win you the game, but if you have like an Altar of the Brood out or something, you can mill all of your opponents. Again, this is another one of those, and then one more piece. It does need one more piece to go, but at least in mono white, you have a 2-card. It's a 3-card combo to go, a 4-card combo to win, but one of those cards is interchangeable with many different cards you can do. The Flicker, the reanimation, so many different ways you can do that.
Yeah, Ephemerate, you can have it on a creature that starts the Flicker. You can put this into a Bant deck. You can have it as your commander.
We just talked about the uncommon Distinguished Conjurer is a creature that can blink it or something like that, and that's going to be out on the battlefield for 2 mana. So yeah, it's in mono white. How else are you going to win? Infinites. And if you have a lot of mana, I mean, you can end up just exiling everyone's non-land permanents too. Maybe you have something like your Phyrexian Altar or something. You could sacrifice all those Felidar Guardian tokens for white mana. You still have the other half of the infinite Felidar tokens you have to sacrifice to the ability.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can exile. It does say non-land permanents, but you can exile every non-land permanent an opponent controls if you add a few more cards to interchange this combo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It doesn't work with Restoration Angel because Restoration Angel specifically blinks non-angel creatures, so it won't be able to blink its own token copy. But I'm sure you can do something else degenerate in a Preston deck by making multiple copies of a Restoration Angel.
Wow, I am really looking forward to playing against this.
It'll go in the 99 mostly. I mean, if I think about all of these cards that go in this combo, Preston's the only one not in my decks right now. All I have to do is put Preston in. All the other cards are there.
It's awesome. It's a cool rabbit wizard.
It is.
Doing some magic tricks in the woods.
Just do it because just now you see it, now you don't.
It's not pulling a rabbit out of its hat, though. It's just making an illusion.
Maybe he's pulling a hat out of his ears or something. What is?
Oh my gosh! Maybe he came out of the hat.
Oh, he appeared. He appeared out of that hat.
Pulled a rabbit right out of that hat.
Pulled himself out of a hat.
Yeah, that's really
interesting.
Honestly, the art's really good. I think the card's really fun. I think I'm going to see people play it a couple times. I'm not sure it'll be all over the place, but this is a card that gets a lot of people excited about brewing new decks.
Are there any other legendary creatures from the set that you were interested in building? I know there's a new Mizzix legendary creature that can copy
I think
spells.
that Mizzix is very difficult, so there is an is it we get to see Mizzix again, which is very cool, but it wants you to cast and copy spells that you cast not from your hand, like from exile.
Yep.
No, but I think Isu is the one, and maybe Ashcoat. So there's a lot of cool stuff. We'd love to hear what you all are going to be playing from Jumpstart 2022. But that's going to be it for our episode this week. As always, if you want to chat with me more, find me in the Discord or on Twitter at Andy Flory.
And you can also find me in our Discord or on Twitter at WormCoil Engine. And of course, we'll talk to you all next week.
Goodbye.